airplane mode.
Oh, I got you.
Hey everybody, it is Wednesday, November 15th. I had to look at that. And it's the TED Show episode 61. We are out in the lounge today, so we're going to have to be a little louder than we normally are. We didn't have any place to go. So I think it's because Sean came here. And see, that little white thing went down, so you're golden. This is my guest, my friend, Sean Lyles, and he is here.
What's up, everybody?
God, it took a while. You're very hard to get on the show.
Don't even try it, Jess.
That is not true. It's so bad. All right, so let us know if you can hear us. He's drinking water. You know I'm not.
Club soda.
Oh, God, club soda.
That's how I roll.
I'm sorry. That makes me even sadder, I think. At least water's hydrating. But let us know that you can hear us. We're having to talk a little bit louder because we have people around, but we don't want to be screaming at each other.
I know, right?
So thanks for being on the show, man. Thank you for finally accepting my invitation.
I appreciate it. You're like my local Oprah.
I'm the local
Yeah, you're
Oprah.
the local Oprah.
That's
yeah,
a
so.
scary, scary thought.
I'm feeling
but
good about this.
I appreciate that. So let us know you can hear us. I think you can because you're on, and you guys would have been telling me already. But oh, thanks, Antonio. See, you got your mug.
I got a mug, yeah.
And look, see, that's the one thing I do like about shooting in the,
Watch this.
because there's so much interaction that you don't get in the private rooms. So. Hey, Kimber, how are you? I'm glad you're watching. Glad that you can hear us. All right, so we're golden.
Well, good.
All right, so let's talk about you. We have been friends for how long? How did we meet?
We met.
I've done no R&D. Remember, we talked about that.
Right. Every time you ask me that question, I always forget myself. We met, I think, at a real estate event.
That's right, it was. Why was that?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Why were you in real estate? You were doing something.
I was working with a home builder. Parthenon Homes.
That's right.
So we had an opportunity to meet that way at an event.
That's correct.
Yeah, and,
it wasn't here.
No, it wasn't here.
That is so funny because most people I meet are here. Thanks, Teresa. Most people I meet here.
Wait a minute. Are you getting shout outs?
Well, looking good, she said to both of us.
Oh, okay. I better make sure my name gets a shout out too.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, he's worried. He had to dress up today. I don't know why. You always look good. You're always dapper.
I appreciate it.
Always dapper. That's the actor/speaker in you, I think.
Must be.
Must be. All right, so we met at that.
Yeah, and
why did we hit it off?
I think
I always have to ask this question. It's awesome.
We're both connectors. You know, we enjoy people. We enjoy living life, and it just clicked. You know,
I agree.
We had a great conversation.
No, it was obviously because we followed up with each other, which that's always the telltale sign. Lately, I've been really bad about that. So if anybody's out there and I've gotten your card and said I'd follow up and I haven't, don't take that personally because it's just been kind of a crazy month or two. But yeah, so then I found out all sorts of things about you that I didn't know. So when I go to a real estate event or any event, that's kind of the focus. You think everybody's in that industry, and you actually think that they're focused just on that. But you have done a lot of things and do a lot of things. So give the audience a little bit of background on Sean.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to first and foremost say I'm a Tar Heel. So I'm from the state of North Carolina. I'm a graduate of UNC in Chapel Hill. So go Heels. And
nice.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I got a lot of family, a lot of friends that are there. Love the Tar Heel state.
Didn't your aunt just win a campaign?
No, it was actually my stepmom who is
your
mayor of Charlotte.
She's the mayor of Charlotte. See, again, no R&D here. I just saw the pictures. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. We're really
Congratulations
excited.
to her.
Appreciate it. Really
wow, you're
excited.
big time. You're like first family stuff.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all.
All right.
But
I'm off topic again.
That's okay. That's what we do. And so, you know, I came to Orlando a while ago to work at the Disney Sports Complex, open up the Disney Sports Complex with some dear friends. And from there, kind of just did a couple of different things, got into pharmaceutical sales, but eventually I evolved into getting into speaking. It kind of evolved just because I had some things happen to me. It kind of made me reevaluate life, kind of really question what my purpose was, question what I was supposed to be doing, why was I here, and I think that's where you and I started to hit it off, because we had those conversations, and it was a very genuine moment, very genuine conversation.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I agree.
But
well, that's what happens. So you get to the point where you're doing what you think you're supposed to be doing. We talk about this a lot on the show. You think, hey Joe, thanks for checking in. Hey Sharon. You think you're doing what is going to make you happy or what you're supposed to be doing, because we're all told some of these things we're supposed to be doing, and then what happens is something happens in your life, there's a change in your life, in your career, or both, and you go, God, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. So you have this epiphany, but not everybody follows through with it. So what was your thing where you go, all right, I'm just going to take the leap? Lots of discussions with family, friends. What was the thing that made you go, all right, this is it, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I've had these changes in my life. I've had these obstacles I've had to overcome, and now I'm going to make the leap.
So back in 2013, probably was the genesis of this transformation, this evolution. I had an accident where I actually blacked out and fell, and was in a hospital for 4 days, and no one could figure out what happened to me, why I blacked out, why I fell. But it was pretty traumatic, and I had some reconstructive dental work because of the accident. And at that point,
is that why your teeth are so pretty?
Yeah, I would like to say it's probably a portion of it. You know, the other teeth are real. Some of them aren't real. That's good. But then later that year, I had something really traumatic happen to me. I lost my best friend, who was my dad. Lost him to cancer, and he had been battling for about 2 years. And that was really tough for me because we were so close as I was growing up. Now, don't get me wrong, he was tough. He was tough on me and my brothers, and he was tough.
But you had a close relationship.
Oh, that's my phone ringing. Did you hear it?
No, is that your phone?
That is my phone.
Nice.
I guess that's the beautiful thing about live TV, right?
See, yeah, he's checking me the whole time going, you have this right, you have this right, and then he didn't even turn off his own phone.
I didn't turn off my phone.
I love it.
So I had an issue, you know, I lost my dad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I did not know that.
I appreciate it. And then shortly thereafter, you and I had this conversation. You know, 7 months, 8 months after that, I lost my son unexpectedly.
I did know that.
Yeah. And so that was kind of the pivot that rocked my world.
Well, how could it not rock your world? Losing both of them. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. You know I would never ask you to share that. And that is such a painful and an unimaginable painful thing to have.
And I told you I wasn't going to cry today, so
he did.
I'm not going to cry.
He's not going to cry. I'll cry for him.
I'm going to keep it on the inside.
And that's such I think that's so brave for you to share, and I appreciate that. So that you have all of this going on, and you go, okay, everything about life that I know, I got to unknow, and I've got to figure out what I really want to do, because this is not working, and you're faced with something that nobody ever wants to have to deal with.
Right. And shortly after that, oddly enough, I lost my income. So within a year and 2 months, 14, 15 months, I had all these traumatic experiences that really shook me to the core to make me reevaluate what I was supposed to be doing, why I was here. And don't get me wrong, there were some very dark days. But I'd always been really interested in what makes people successful. Not successful in the sense of financial success, but
right.
Really what makes people thrive when they have these obstacles that they overcome day in and day out and continue to thrive and be productive. So I started doing some studying. I started, just really peeling back the onion and finding out what different people did that got them to the next level. What I was able to find out was the mindset. How you think and how you act on certain things will determine what the outcome is going to be. And
now, did you know that? So, as you're dealing with what you dealt with, so obviously it just doesn't come to you. It's the mindset, and you have to overcome the things. What were the things that kept pushing you through? You obviously had something inside that told you there's more to it, and I've got to figure out a way to continue to move forward. Because that's really what it's about: is figuring out how to move forward in a productive way. That doesn't mean you're still not grieving or stop grieving. It just means that you still have to live your life. You still have people around you that depend on you.
Right.
So for people going through things, I love what you said. There were still dark days, and I think people look at sometimes the show and go, oh my God, he would never understand what I went through. But you get it. You went through it. So what was the thing? So you get to the mindset. How do you get there? We'll talk about the mindset in a minute.
Yeah, we'll
very
get to that.
specific.
Yeah, it's very specific. And I got it. And I saw a friend of mine just reach in, chime in. His name is Doxy, and I'm gonna give him a shout out because I remember he said something very key to me, that the pain never goes away, it just gets less intense.
Yeah.
And that really put some things in perspective for me. And so how I got to the whole mindset thing was, I think it started when I was a kid. Look, I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I was probably never the smartest guy in the world, but there was nothing that I told myself that I wasn't the biggest, the strongest, and the fastest, and that I wasn't the smartest. So I think innately I had something already deep inside of me. It's just that I didn't know it was there until something had awakened it.
Sure.
And it was these tragedies and these rough moments that actually helped awaken it inside of me that said, okay, I know I can push on. And
I love that.
It's one of those things where those of us, and many of us that, we're working out or whatever the case may be, your body breaks down, but there's something mentally that tells you, I can push it for one more mile, I can push it for one more second, 5 more minutes, whatever the case may be. And I think that's what really kept driving me. But I had to find out it wasn't just about motivation, it was about strategy. Which strategies could I put in place, could I find that's going to help me take the next step, the next step, the next step to get to where I need to be so that I can start being productive again, start really keeping things in perspective and really enjoying life.
Because it's one, like, I love what you just said. I think a lot of people go, okay, I want to get from point A to point B, and I don't want to take the one step at a time to get there. So you're saying what you did is you did one step at a time. You tried to figure out strategy-wise what that looked like. How does that look? And I think a lot of people get frustrated because they think they should be further along than they are, but they've missed a step or two because they're trying to jump ahead.
Right. And unfortunately, we think the ascension to the top, you take an elevator like you do in a building.
Correct.
But you don't. It's more of a step. You go up this incline, that's the rough part. Then it starts to level off on that landing. But just as you get comfortable, you have that obstacle again. That's that incline. So you have that progressive step moving up and down. I mean, going up. But it's not going to be a quick ascension like on an elevator.
Correct.
So that's what I realized. I mean, as much as I wanted to go from the bottom to the top as quickly as I could, it just wasn't going to happen.
So you landed on the mindset.
Right.
So give them some history on that, because I didn't just put the TM after it because I was joking. It's a real program process, and you describe it better.
Right. And so the mindset, I'm a guy that really likes acronyms. It kind of makes me, it's easy to remember. So I always think about the things that, these resources that I have accessible to me, that's going to help me get to the next level. So the M is the mental capital. And I use the word capital as a financial.
So we're in mindset right now.
We're in mindset right now.
We're giving acronyms to mindset.
So the M
You'll
stands
probably have to talk up. I'm just going to guess.
That's right. So the M stands for mental capital. You always have to have the ability to overcome, to persevere, to deal with those obstacles. That's where the mental capital comes from. Sometimes you're not going to do it alone. Sometimes you're going to have a good support system that's going to be there with you, like the TEDs of the world, the format that you have with the TED shows. My fellow Tar Heels, I'm always going to give a shout out to them. So that's what the M stands for, the mental capital. The I stands for the intellectual capital. You've got to develop the intellectual capital. You have to continue to grow and develop intellectually. It's not just enough. Now, we always had that thing, book smarts and street smarts. Yeah, I get that. However it is, but it's still some intellectual growth and development that's necessary.
What's an example of intellectual growth?
Intellectual growth is when you step outside of what you think is the norm, okay, and you are able to accept something that is completely different and foreign to you. Okay, that's what intellectual growth is. And sometimes that happens from a person you meet. Sometimes it happens from a book you read or a place you experience. So that's where the I, the intellectual.
You're constantly growing your knowledge base, your sphere. What you think, you're trying to think outside it by reading things, doing things that aren't necessarily in your wheelhouse at that moment. Absolutely. Just so you can grow. So that makes sense.
So that's the I. So then you have the N for your network capital. Your network capital is very key and very critical to any growth and development. We always like to say, it's not what you know, it's
who you know.
But even more importantly, it's who knows you. Because if you just rely on who you know, that person may not have a relationship with you that you can leverage or that you can benefit from. Correct. So it's not just what you know, it's who you know, but also who knows you that can grab you by the hand and walk you through a journey that you may not have taken before. That's where that network capital comes from.
I love that. That's awesome.
And the D, of course, is the dream capital. You never got to stop dreaming.
I thought it was going to be drinking. No?
Well, we are right now, but I'm drinking club sodas always.
Me too, allegedly. So the D is dream.
The D is your dream capital. The dream capital simply means keep dreaming. Don't ever let someone tell you that you should do something or that you should be somebody else, that you're not destined to be. And you're going to find that out when we get into my 7-day life diet, where that dream capital is, if you know you're destined to do something, to be somebody, or to help somebody, follow it. Follow that passion. Figure out what that passion is.
Because there are so many people, even people who mean well,
Absolutely.
that will try to talk you out of it because it's either, again, it's outside your wheelhouse. It's something you haven't done before. It's something that's inside you that you can't really explain, but you know that's what you're supposed to be doing. And you're going to have a lot of naysayers, and a lot of people really don't mean to be naysayers. They just...
But it's in our nature.
It's in our nature, and they also think practically. In their mind, they're trying to tell you, look, you've been an XYZ all, you can't be an ABC anymore.
Right.
And I think the dream part's so important because I think a lot of people do stop there and go, well, everybody's told me I can't do it, and so I'm not going to do it, even though I know in my heart it's my passion to do it.
I had a friend, I had a family member actually say this to me. When I had talked about getting into speaking and really going to help inspire people to aspire to that next level in their life, the first thing that came out of their mouth was, yeah, but how are you going to pay the bills?
I love the yeah, but.
It's the yeah, but. I'm like, yeah, but I don't need you to listen to you right now.
Right.
Because I knew that, my journey is going to be a lonely journey. The only company I'm going to have on that journey is going to be my shadow.
I get it.
And anybody that's telling you not to do it, just don't have them in your circle.
Well, or in reality, I think it's sometimes it's protective. Like I've had friends when I first started the show, which is not a money maker at this point. People are like, "What? No."
Okay, so
we're working on that right now.
So the money you promised me.
Yeah, that check's in the mail. That is not happening. I pay in booze and food and maybe parking, and that's all you get. But people said, what are you going to do? Why would you do that? And I just knew it was the right thing to do regardless of what the end game was.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to take the leap and you think you know what the end game is and you don't. Maybe you want it to be there, but take the leap. Like Sean was saying earlier, take the first step. Do it. Don't listen to the naysayers. And again, I don't get mad at naysayers. I listen to them. I hear them, but I'm still going to do what I know I need to do, and that's really where the strength and where you really have to know what your passion is.
Ted, I was actually at a school speaking to a group of kids recently, and a lot of the kids had some questions about. They were 12 years old, so they were in the 6th, 7th grade, and part of the conversation we had was, look, they're at a point now where I'm talking about life, because they have an opportunity to take one of two roads. The road that they're going to follow somebody,
right,
or the road that they can take that's going to challenge them to be greater than they are. And the road of least resistance, of course, is to follow somebody,
sure,
be the bully, just follow the crowd. The hard thing to do is to really, it's actually a real simple process, it's just not easy to do.
Correct, I agree with you.
But follow that road that's going to challenge you to read that extra book in the summer outside of the scheduled readings that you have to do for your teaching.
Yes.
Put down the video game. Put down, turn the television off. Again, that goes to that intellectual capital. What are we doing to grow consistently each and every day? And unfortunately, not many of us start at a young age. We try to catch up later in life because we start to see the sands of time.
No, I'm 35 and I'm just learning.
I just turned 21, so
yeah, there it is. All right.
So,
touche, my friend.
Right.
But I think you're right. I think that if you can just step outside, it's just huge. And I think a lot of people are struggling with that. We talk about it on the show all the time. People really do have dreams and desires and passions, but they only dabble in it instead of making it their life's work or making it something that they're doing. I'm a big believer in the money will come. If you build it, it will come. That does not mean that there are not struggles and heartaches and problems and you're feeling like you don't have enough, you don't have money to pay the bills. I mean, I get all of that.
Hey, I've been there.
But if we've all been there, and anybody who says they haven't, oh look, Althea says, I have a client called Lyles Seals. I don't know what that is, but I think it's Sean. His name's Sean, but we'll go with that, Althea. We love you. And somebody commented on your outfit, by the way.
Oh, mine?
Did you hear it? No, totally on yours.
Mine.
Hold on. Must be a friend of yours, and I want to share that. Ryan Plaza says, Sean is the man. We love Ryan.
Love you, Ryan.
And Marion says, I love the mindset way of thinking. But there was somebody down here, and I've got to share. Keith Lee says, Sean is that a rented suit. I love people with an N. I love it.
Keith. I love you, buddy.
We love you guys. It's awesome. So talk about your 7-day diet.
Right. So the strategy behind it is you can always look. I'm not really a motivator, but hopefully I can inspire you. But again, it's about the strategy. So the 7-day life diet is this. And of course, we always like to play on words. I told you I'm an acronym guy and I play on words. So day one is you make a decision. If you want to change your life, the first thing you got to do is make a decision.
Right.
Making a decision, again, it's a simple process. It's just hard to do.
You have to decide at that moment, I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it. And you've got to stick to it. Day two. And when you make that decision, now you got to take a critical self-assessment of who you are, what you're good at, and what you need, and what opportunities are there for you. And that requires you looking in the mirror and asking yourself and saying to yourself, this is what I'm really good at. This is what I need development in. And I need to do it. That's what the heart is. Day two is going to be very tough because you have to be completely honest with yourself. You can't sit there and say, oh, I do some things pretty good when you know you're doing very horribly. That was a hard thing for me to really realize that there were some things that I thought I did well. I didn't.
What was, just as an example, what was one thing you did bad? Poorly.
I knew you would ask.
You know it. I'm going to ask that. I don't want to hear what you do good. I already know that.
So one of the things that I did not do well early on was follow up. I did not follow up.
You are part of the 95
Absolutely.
percentile, honestly.
I could make the initial connection. I could have a great conversation at that moment, but I would never follow up.
Correct.
And following up leads to the next step in the process. Right. So once you do a critical self-assessment, you kind of go back to that whole intellectual piece, which is day three, which is you now have to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Get a mentor. Write different books. Go to different places, different countries. Work on different job skills. I mean, we got all kind of social network platforms that give you an opportunity to learn foreign languages, to learn different computing skills, coding, whatever the case may be. You have to invest in yourself. The only way you're going to grow and develop and get to that next level is you have to invest in yourself.
I think a lot of people, they'll read a book here or there, but they read a book that they like. And
Right.
instead of reading something that might challenge them or challenge their mindset, so to speak,
Right.
And they don't get outside their 9 dots again. It's all about trying to figure out how to get out of that because there's really
Right.
no growth unless you do.
Absolutely. And so once you start to invest in yourself, this is a really key part that all of us need to do. That's getting a mentor. Getting a mentor is somebody or a group of people. I have a career board of directors. My career board of directors is between 4 and 5 people in various industries at various levels in that industry. And I use them as a resource to ask them questions, whether it's about my personal growth or my professional growth.
I like that.
What is it that you think I should do next professionally? How do I transition to this piece personally? How do I transition in this relationship, professionally and or personally? So getting a mentor. So day 5, you have to give back. There's no growth without reciprocity. You have to give back to those that have given to you. That's where the ultimate and the most growth happens.
So how does that look? Give them a real life version of that.
Sure. So the people that have taken me under their wing and given me some guidance personally and professionally, even in great moments and even some of my darkest moments, I now know that I have an opportunity to go into some of these inner city neighborhoods, these communities, some of these schools, not even just inner city, but some other organizations, and give my time to share some of the knowledge base that I've been very blessed to have developed and to have honed those skill sets.
So giving back can look like a lot of things.
Giving back can look like a lot of things.
But I think that doing that also adds to your growth. I think if you're not giving back in a way that's not just a check. Not that they all don't need checks.
Correct.
Everybody needs money. Trust me, especially this time of year.
Right.
But if you're giving back in a tangible way, that's growth for you. You think you're doing it for them, but in reality, it ends up allowing you to grow.
Here's what you do. Find somebody that needs something from you, provide it to them, and expect nothing in return.
I love that.
When you do that, then you'll start to see
I love that.
how that growth starts to happen. So day 6. Day 6 is actually the really cool part. Day 6 is that consistency, discipline, and consistency. Discipline is the vehicle that's going to get you there. Consistency is the vehicle that's going to keep you there. You have to be very disciplined and intentional in your actions. Then you have to be very consistent in your actions. Because again, that's where the follow-up. We can be very disciplined. It's just, look, I'm gonna break it down, just like working out. You can discipline yourself to work out, but if you don't consistently work out every day, whether it's your mind, whether it's your body, whatever the case may be, you're not gonna get the results you look for.
Correct.
So part of that discipline and consistency is you now have to measure your results. You have to measure to make sure that you are being consistent with your discipline.
So if somebody, so let's talk again. I'm
Sure.
going to real world because that's what that will help. So discipline and consistency. So you've got somebody who, give them a real world example of that. Working out is a foreign language to me. So try to break it down in 10, well, not the drinking part, but try to break it down in 10 things and somebody else could hear it.
Let's put it from an educational standpoint. So discipline yourself to want to learn a new skill set.
Okay.
Say it's a foreign language. I'm going to start it, but I'm going to be consistent in making sure I do it 30 minutes a day. Not 30 minutes every other day, not 30 minutes 3 days a week, 30 minutes every day, because that discipline and consistency is going to lead to the results you want. You're not going to learn to speak Spanish or any other foreign language just by occasionally, or as you said earlier, dabbling in doing this.
Right.
You have to be very disciplined and consistent. You look at some of the world-class athletes, the Michael Jordans of the world, LeBron James, the Michael Phelps. They were very disciplined in their routine.
Right.
They were very disciplined and they were very consistent. The biggest difference between a really great performer and a performer that's really, really good is consistency.
Right.
Because they're still going through the same motions, the same discipline, working out, training their mind, training their body, but they're consistently good.
Correct.
That's the biggest difference.
Intentional. Like, I
Very
love
intentional.
that. I think that's true. I think that people, like if I wanted to learn a foreign language, I've seen some of those podcasts or things that you can get on iBooks or iTunes, and you get it and then you don't do anything with it because there's no plan. There's nothing intentional about it. That's good. All right, let's say 7.
So, when you talked about a foreign language, so just a quick story. So I remember I was living in Colorado, and I did not know any other language than what I'm speaking right now. So went out to a restaurant with some friends, and I looked at the menu, and I ordered, and I was ready to order, and I just asked the question, what is supple? And
That's a sweet story.
I had no idea the supple was actually pronounced souffle.
Listen, this is a good. I'll never ever forget that. By the way, that's awesome.
Yeah. So.
But right, you didn't know.
I didn't know.
So
because I had not stretched beyond the boundaries where I already knew.
Correct.
So day 7. This is my favorite day. You just gotta have faith. Faith in knowing that the previous 6 days will get you to where you want to get.
Love that.
You just have to have faith. And I think what science tells us is that if I can see it, I believe it. What faith tells us, if I believe it, I eventually will see it.
Correct. Absolutely.
So that's our 7-day life diet.
I love that. So where do they get that? Since we're already at 30 minutes, if you can believe it.
Are we done?
Well, we want to give them some information to reach you. But where do they get that? Do you have a website?
I do have a website. You can
so
reach
give
me
them
at-
a little bit of that information.
www.speakershawnlyles.com, and you can go there. I have an area to contact. If you put your information in, I can reach out and contact you. If you just need someone, you want to bend my ear, or you need me to come talk to a group, or you just need something else, I'm always here for you. And I also have a podcast we just started called The Intentional Mindset.
I love that name. By the way. That's awesome.
And I love it. We have 2 episodes. We have Jose Belen, who was on your show.
I love
a while
Jose
ago.
Belen. He's amazing.
Jose Belen, and I have one of my dear friends, Sylvia Crawley, who's one of the basketball coaches at UNC. She's one of the women's basketball coaches at UNC in Chapel Hill. So she tells a great story. So we actually have Ted coming on to the intentional mindset coming up soon.
Right?
Yes.
Awesome.
We have some more people that I'm bringing on to interview. And so the intentional mindset is actually on iTunes. The intentional mindset, but you can go to www.speakershawnlyles.com, and I'll start moving all that stuff over there so you can look it up there as well.
So any final words for them? Anything you want to leave them with? I think today, first of all, today was awesome. You did a great job, and I love the information that you gave out. It was so informative, but also gave them some all of us real tools to try to figure out how we want to do what we want to do. And I think so many of us not necessarily are struggling with it, but we know we should be doing something different, and we don't know how to do that. We're not sure how to do that. We're afraid to take the risk.
We're afraid, and fear can be very crippling, but just make that decision to do it. So I would say just be very intentional in what it is you want to do. Don't be afraid to make a decision, and understand that you have people out here like Ted, myself, and your own sphere of influence that can be there to support you. And what really is going to make the difference in your life is how resourceful you are. How do you really leverage the resources you have to get to where you want to be? And just remember that it's not necessarily about having a backup plan. It's really about having a better plan.
Oh, I like that. All right, we love you guys. We'll be here tomorrow, which is Thursday. Thank you guys for the support and love. You've been awesome. I love all the private messages.
Yes.
I promise you I will follow up.
Please.
You were an amazing guest.
Thank you.
Had a great so
time.
much for finally accepting my invitation to be on the show. And if you don't mind, we're gonna organic and do this. You're gonna hit the finish button, and we're gonna say goodbye.
So when I come into your screen, I'm not jumping through the screen. I'm just turning the camera on.
We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.